Extreme close-up.
I don't know what's happening.
Hi.
No,
Oh, there
I
we
did it
are.
wrong. This is the wrong one, too.
Bye, guys. We kicked Art out of it today.
Okay.
Hello.
I fixed it. Hello, everybody.
The Dead Boy 42. What's up? How's it going? Hello, friends.
Oh,
Hi. Welcome back. I missed you guys last week. Having some issues on my end. I don't remember what it was. What was I dealing with? Internet issues last week?
Is this not about work?
Oh, yeah. It was work internet issues specifically. I had to download like 6 gabillion gigabyte files. It was insane. But we rearranged stuff, so it should all be good now.
Yeah.
Reed H. Cooper, hello. Nice to see you. Hi, everyone. Welcome. For those of you who don't know, my name is Robert.
Hi, Robert.
And this is Art, of
That's
course. Art on the art supplies.
Oh, why should you put name tags on this one, too? Little nameplates. It says Art and Robert.
That's cute.
I always forget. I assume that everybody who comes in knows our name, who we are, because
Right.
they should. They don't.
I don't want to assume that either. I always want to pretend like there's new people. Reed H. Cooper says, "What was it? Like the issues? Oh, yeah. So I work for Taco Bell. It was giant
Tacos.
taco images.
Oh,
yeah. It was. I was downloading tacos, literally.
It's the new thing they're trying.
Virtual tacos. You'd be surprised.
That'd
You
be
never
awesome.
know. Actually, we do have something new coming out. I have to show you guys. We just announced it today. It's insane. So it's only available in Nashville, Tennessee, and Charlotte, North Carolina. For now, we're just testing it. But take a look at this crispy chicken sandwich taco.
Ooh.
What? Oh, wait, let's put it over here. What? Look, you can get a spicy version that has jalapenos in it. Mm.
Wow. That looks good.
Right? Happy Taco Tuesday. So yeah, welcome to Perception Paints. My name is Robert. I'm going to be guiding you step by step through this beautiful painting here. We're doing some Tinkerbell today. Ta-da!
Yeah.
I realized we hadn't done any Disney paintings other than, oh no, we did a couple. We did Up and we did Nightmare Before Christmas, but those are technically Pixar and Touchstone. I don't know if those count. Oh well.
I mean, and you'd think we would do more because we talk so much Disney.
I know. I figured this was a good reason to talk Disney because we're painting Disney, especially with all the new Disney news stuff coming up. So it's interesting, everything that's happening. Terrence Stark, hello, all got my tea. That looks good. Doesn't it look good? That taco sandwich, it's like yummy, fluffy bread. And it looks kind of like, what do you call it? Why can't I remember it? Art, what is the traditional Mexican sandwich? Torta.
Torta? Yeah.
Yeah, it's got the like torta shell around it. Looks yummy. I haven't tried it yet.
Do you get to try it? Like
I do. I get to try. Well, I used to actually. When we worked in the office, I used to try all the food all the time. But now that I'm not in the office anymore, I guess not. I also don't eat chicken, so it's kind of wasted on me, but it looks really good. Dead Boy says we're gonna paint a picture of Art today. Today we're painting a portrait of Art.
Do it.
Headphones and all. All right, let's go through our materials. Make sure we have what we need. So first off, you will want a surface to paint on. I have a canvas here. This is a 16 by 20 inch canvas, but you can use any paper or cardboard or any sort of surface that you want to paint on. You can also paint digitally if you want to use your iPad or your Surface Pro or any digital painting tools like that. It doesn't really matter as long as you've got a surface to use. And then next up, you will want a cup of water. I've got my water here. This is to wash off the brushes, get all the paint out of it as we're mixing and switching through paint colors. Just make sure you don't drink from this accidentally. And instead, make sure you have something to drink nearby. I'm doing like a pomegranate lemonade today, something different. I always keep a lid on it too, because I don't want to put my brush in there on accident. So just keep that aside. And then next up, you will want a towel. I have a reusable towel here that I just wash when I'm done. But if you don't have a reusable towel, you can use a napkin or a paper towel. anything just like that will work out just fine. And you want a towel to make sure you don't have too much water on your paintbrushes after you've washed it out. The reason you don't want too much water on your paintbrush is because if you do, and you apply that watery paintbrush to the canvas, the water will drip down the canvas and rip the paint right off of there. So I want you all to get in the habit, after you've washed your brushes off thoroughly with water, give it a nice dab dry with the towel, and then get the paint as you normally would. Okay? Reed H. Cooper says, is it too soon to talk about Peter and Tinkerbell's relationship? I always found it wild in Hook that they basically say it explicitly. Yeah.
And how does that work, like on a technical level?
Yeah, I was thinking like size, logistics, but then wasn't there one point in Hook when
she gets big?
Is it Peter is she gets big or he gets shrunken down?
I think she gets big.
I don't remember. One of those. But yes, Hook is a badass movie where they can do that stuff. I loved Hook. I still love Hook.
I do.
So good. It's one of those movies, you know how there's like a handful of movies that whenever it's on TV, you have to stop and watch it?
Yeah.
That's totally one of them for me. So towels. Oh, and then next we'll have brushes. So I typically use 3 brushes, a large, a medium, and a small. Here they are. Ta-da! I'll tell you what I've got. Now, you don't have to have the exact same brushes that I do. As long as you've got a large, medium, and small, you'll be fine. But first off is my large brush. This is a 1-inch flat brush. It's got that nice flat edge on the top, and then when you turn it to the side, it's nice and thin, right? This is the medium brush. It's a 1/2-inch flat brush. Same type of brush, just a little bit smaller in size. And then I have my round, my number 2 round brush. This is just a detail brush that we'll use later on too. So you'll want at least a large, medium, and a small brush. Again, you don't have to have the exact same brushes. Just have a varied set. They each do different things as we go. And I'll be showing you step by step, letting you know which brushes we're using, what paints we're using, and when. So there's nothing to worry about. Deadboy42 says, in the book, Peter was the baddie, but Disney went all Disney, as Disney do, on the story. Oh, there you are, Peter. Oh, Terrence Stark. So good. Landing that in right away. There's so many good lines from Hook, too. Remember when, like, what's his face? He lost all his marbles? Mm-hmm. Even as a kid, I was like, wow, that's so profound because he's like crazy, but marbles. And
but then he found his marbles. And
then he found them. So he's like, he's real. He understands now. Such a good movie. So as for paint today, we're only using 4 colors, technically only 3, but if you have a 4th, we can do that too. And I'll show you what we got. We're doing white and black. We'll be using black for the Tinkerbell silhouette. We'll be using white for all the stars and the little accents around. And then I have 2 different shades of green. I have a standard like sap green, and then I also have a light green called light green. But if you don't have light green, you can always mix in a little bit of white, or you can mix in some yellow to create that lighter tone. Totally up to you. But I've got 2 of them. Either way. Reed H. Cooper, I have an edition or 2 of J.M. Barrie's Peter and also Claudio's Pinocchio.
Like physical
like different
prints of it? Like gold prints of it?
Or of like prints of the book.
Yeah, that's
like the original books. I haven't read either. Actually, no, I think I did read Peter Pan once as a kid. I remember not loving it. Just because I was so in the Disney version of it by that point. I was just like, this isn't Peter Pan. I don't want to read this. Smee. Okay, so that's all for materials. And then as we go through today, if anyone has any questions, let me know. You can just type it in the chat. We also have on our Discord at Perception Paints, you could see our chat there. But we also have Perception Paints Share, where you can have a live stream of your video, and we'll pop that up there, and Art can bring those up for us and we can take a look. So if you want me to take a look at your art as we're going, he can show it up there and we can I can help you out that way too. But any questions, anything at all, let me know. And then also, as we're working through today, if you're going through and you're like, oh, I screwed it up, it's okay. Don't panic. Sometimes you just need to give the paint a chance to dry, and you can always paint over it. And Bob Ross always says there's no such thing as mistakes, only happy accidents. And that goes for here too. You can always fix a painting. Just give it a minute and you can go on top. Reed H. Cooper says, yes, very Prince of the originals. That's awesome. I have a copy of Alice in Wonderland that's about 110 years old.
Oh, wow.
It's this tiny little book that my mom found me at a vintage antique shop, and I love it. It's got like little girls' handwriting in it, like this book belongs to Mary Sue. Like, it's so cute. I love it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, there's something really special about those old books, like knowing that they have a little history. Yeah, I think that's it. Does anyone have any questions before we get started? No? Okay. All right. So let's do a quick little toast before we do. Ta-da. All right. So we'll drink and we'll paint the best that we can. And if it don't turn out right, who gives a damn?
Who
Cheers.
gives a damn?
I like the song. Gives a damn? Who gives a damn? Who gives a damn? Mm-hmm. All right, let's get started. I'm going to start with my light green first. If you don't have light green, you can just mix up green with a little bit of white. And we're going to put this in the center of our canvas and work our way outward in a circular motion. And we're just working on the background. So keep in mind, this doesn't have to be super thick. We're just looking for coverage. You can actually mix in some water with this too to keep it nice and light, because we want this to dry fairly quickly so we can put our silhouette right on top of it. So you can see I'm just very quickly circling that outward. Oops. Hey, Robert, time for new canvas. This always happens. It's so funny. This is like the oldest easel in the world. Hold on just a second. Continue painting. I'm going to fix this.
Circles.
Circles. Circle, circle, circle. Okay. There we go. Yeah, okay. So keep circling outward, and we're going to cover most of this canvas, but we don't have to cover all of it. And then we are going to gradually start to introduce some darker, or rather a more true green rather than this light green, along those outside edges. So keep circling. Add those taps of water if you need to. So, dead boy, no knocking your painting to the floor, or that might actually be a painting accident. I know. This easel, it's got these little catches on it that keep falling off. It's just old. Time for a new one.
Deadboy says, my brain thinks it sees The Legend of Zelda on your headset.
It does. Yep.
Your brain be right.
Ba-da-ba-ba.
Oh, and speaking
my
of,
husband-
Sunday
What's that?
was the 35th anniversary of Zelda.
It was.
And you know what
It
sucked?
definitely was. You
Nintendo
didn't-
said
you
nothing.
didn't play
They were just like,
Oh,
silence.
I know.
Silence from Nintendo.
it's really weird how they are with Zelda sometimes. If they do announce it, it's like months later and like, oh, by the way, did you guys know? It's like, well, yeah, we were
Yeah.
waiting for you guys to say something. But then Mario, they're like, by the way, we're going to celebrate Mario's birthday all year.
For a whole year, yeah.
Remember the year of Luigi? Like, they even gave him special treatment. Yeah, it's weird. Although I was happy about the announcement of Skyward Sword.
Yeah, because I never played that, so I'm excited to see that.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's different. It's not my favorite, but I enjoy it.
Although, you know what I'm not excited about? Paying
What?
Paying $10 extra than it cost originally. They were paying full price for remakes of games. Nintendo.
It's true.
That's a little...
I didn't think about that. Happy Zelda-versary.
Yeah.
Kenny wants to know if you have a spare iPad stylus pencil that you could borrow.
I do not. It now belongs to Amber.
Time to finger paint.
Time to finger paint. Hey, Procreate will let you finger paint.
Yeah. And then Dead Boy says the only game they're remastering is Skyward Sword. I'm surprised that I'm surprised that that's the one that they decided to do in honor of the anniversary.
I have a feeling that they're probably going to release a collection later in the year.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too, especially given the success of the Mario collection.
Yeah.
I think they're going to do something similar.
They wanted full price for this game because it's the newest game. Literally, it's the newest game that came right before Breath of the Wild. So they want their full $60 for this game, and then they're going to package a bunch of the other ones.
Yeah, that's what I think is going to happen too.
Yeah. So
I'm introducing this standard green, or this is called sap green, but really your basic green will go in here, and then we're just filling in some of the corners and bringing it in ever so slightly into that light green. We want this to be a really nice seamless transition between the two, where it just kind of fades off into that darker green. Yeah, Zelda it doesn't get very much play. I'm surprised. But maybe it's just not as big an audience as the Mario. Although Mario didn't get his own symphony concert like Zelda did for years.
Well, I don't know if I'd go listen to a Mario concert.
Oh, it was so good. Oh, a Mario concert, I might go see it. Because some of the orchestrations from Mario Galaxy are really great. But yeah, did you see that Zelda concert?
Yeah, I wish I'd seen it.
Yeah, it was excellent. I went and saw it a few times. It's a really, really good show. I love that we're chatting Zelda on Disney Day. Just kidding. That's the only reason I haven't got Link's Awakening yet. Oh my gosh. Link's Awakening is my favorite Zelda game.
Yeah.
And when they announced the remake of it, I didn't know anything about it. This was a couple years ago. They were playing the video and I see the rain and I'm like, oh, that's pretty. Mm-hmm. And then I see the boat and I'm like, oh, there's a boat in a storm. And then I see the new Link and I start sobbing. I was so excited.
Yeah,
I had no idea.
Link's Awakening was the first Zelda game that I finished, and I had it on the black and white Game Boy.
Me too.
It was great.
I love that game. There's just something so cool and something transporting about it, all taking place on an island, and it always felt very special to me. I loved that game. The remake is excellent if you haven't played it yet.
You know what? I didn't finish. I got to the end. And I got to the egg. You know how the egg's a puzzle?
Yeah.
But when I was playing, I guess I missed the part where I'm supposed to go read books and stuff and figure that the order.
Oh,
and
right.
I was like, oh, I'm already here at the end, and then I put it down and never finished it. I should probably go back.
Oh
and
no, you
that.
gotta finish it. Yeah, the whole windfish thing reveal is beautiful, and the end credits are really nice. They did a great job with that.
Yeah, it was just
I
my
would love
fault
for
because I
them
didn't pay
to-
attention.
Yeah. I would love for them to re-release the Oracle of Seasons and Oracle of Ages in the same illustrative style as the Link's Awakening reboot. Because I really loved those games too.
I recently played. I have anyways, I was playing. I tried Minish Cap for the first time.
Oh yeah, that one's fun.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. It was weird because I found out that Nintendo didn't make that. It was Capcom who made this one.
Yeah.
So it feels different, but I was enjoying it. So I need to go back and try to finish it, but I was having fun with it.
I've never finished that one either. I enjoyed that one too. I think Capcom did the Oracle games too.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, Minish Cap is great. I love the like little the Minish Pieces collection to make things. That was fun. Terrence loves Skyward Sword because it explains so much. Yeah, I do like that whole backstory.
Yeah. I'm really excited.
There's a lot of really cool stuff in there. There's some good characters too. There's a very Gastonish character. I can't remember his name right now. Groose. His name is Groose. He's so funny. And then the main villain's like this creepy David Bowie gender fuck kind of character. It's so weird. He's really, really weird.
Gender fuck.
Yeah. He's a very odd character, but I love him.
Oh, don't mind that.
It says art.
I didn't think that was going to show up just yet.
Are you working on name tags for it?
I know name tags for yeah.
There we go. That looks pretty. I like that. Nice little swirl around there. Let's see, Dead Boy. I'm fine with a collection of Zeldas. If they do, I'd be happy. Otherwise, I'll be happy just getting the expansion pass for Hyrule Warriors 2.
I need to get Hyrule Warriors.
I love when they Robert. I love when they re-release games. I know a lot of people don't like it. They don't like just a quick port of it, and it feels lazy. But they're games that I enjoy. Like when they released Wind Waker on the Wii U.
Yeah,
that was great. I loved that.
I want that on the Switch. I want Wind Waker on the Switch. I'm hoping that the pack is Wind Waker, Ocarina.
Ocarina. I would play that again. That's one of my top games too.
And Majora's Mask is cool, but it's hard. And it's like
I have a hard time with it.
It's a cool game, and it's like if you're like a gamer, it's a great game. But if you're like a casual and just want to have fun, it's not. It's tedious.
It stresses me out. The moon just looming over me the whole time, and the time thing, I can't. It stresses me out.
Oh, and Twilight Princess. I want Twilight, Ocarina, and Wind Waker.
Twilight Princess is great. It's beautiful and dark. I love that one. I would like if there was like a disc, or not disc, a cartridge, if they re-released like all of the Game Boy games, like just a collection of them.
Yeah. You don't have to remaster them, just give me the games. Or just make them widescreen, just so that I can play them widescreen. I'd be happy. Give it a little bit of a once-over and just release them.
Terrence says that the Minish were supposed to be in Breath of the Wild, which would have been really cool.
Oh.
Instead of the Koroks, that would have been kind of cute.
Oh, okay.
And then Dead Boy's first Zelda game was sitting on my parents' lap with the NES controller in hand. Oh, so good. Girium. Yes, Girium is the David Bowie character. This exploration of Girium is perfect. Yeah, I mean, or explanation. That's pretty much it, right? David Bowie-esque. Reed's never played a Link game.
Well, now's the time, because they're going to maybe re-release new ones.
Yeah. Majora's Mask is the only 3 Zeldas I have on that. Yeah, it's a hard one. I get into it. I love it. It's beautiful and twisted and crazy, but the time thing really throws me off. I have a hard time with it.
It's a grind game. Like if you're looking for a challenge, that's a great game.
There's a lot of backtracking in it that I don't love. Okay, so that's our greenness. I love it. Yeah, Reed, you got to start playing. Time for some Zelda. If you've never played a Legend of Zelda game, I would say Link's Awakening is a great start.
Yes.
Because it's not too difficult. The story is engrossing and wonderful. The characters are really fun. And it introduces you to a lot of the gameplay foundations that are either in past or future versions of the Zelda games. It's a really nice like media and center game.
And it was designed to be slightly easier. It's a very approachable.
Yeah. Like it's nice and handheld and chill. It's a good one. I don't have a Switch. I have a Wii that I haven't turned on how many years. I don't even know if that works. Well, you can also get it on the 3DS. If you have a 3DS, you can download it there. Dead Boy says Majora's Mask is Legend of Zelda made by Tim Burton. Totally. That's an excellent explanation. Okay, so now what we're going to do is
Check the Discord here.
We're going to start to line out our Tinkerbell silhouette. I'm going to take the black paint, and we're just going to start with simple shapes first. So I know that Tinkerbell's head is going to be just about center here. So I'm going to start with a small circle, more like an oval egg shape that's centered here. And I would say it's about 2 to 3 inches tall, not too much larger than that. You can always make adjustments as we go. Dead Boy says Link's Awakening or Hyrule Warriors 1, because Hyrule Warriors does a great job of showing the history of a lot of the Legend of Zelda games. It definitely does. Hyrule Warriors, I love as a game. I have a hard time with it too. I did better on the 3DS version of it than I did on the Wii U version. I haven't tried the new ones yet. But that's another game that stresses me out a little bit. Where I'm like, wait, I have to go fight over here. No, there's someone dying over there. I have to go help over here. It's a different game mechanic than the regular Legend of Zelda games, but it's excellent. Link Between Worlds was great.
Oh, that's such a good game.
I loved that. That was such a nice surprise. Really, really loved that game.
I would love a translation of that game, but I don't know how that would work with the 3D elements that it used.
Yeah, I don't know. It was a really good one. Cool new story, new characters that I really loved. All right, so we're going to give her a little bit of a neck, and then we're going to create her shoulders and torso. Tinkerbell has a really nice hourglass shape. So think of them as 2 triangles that are coming together. There's an upside down triangle. Remember, you can always make adjustments as you go. We're just sketching this out. All right, so there's an upside down triangle. I'm going to make it a little bit larger. And then she's got her little waist here. And then we've got a shorter triangle toward the bottom. Now, gang, don't worry if Tinkerbell is turning out a little bit wonky. Some of you may remember the great Mandalorian painting of 2020. They don't always turn out great. My bodies don't always turn out great. We just try our best and have some fun doing it, right? The definitive edition on the Switch can be both easier and harder at the same time. Of Link Between Worlds, I mean, I wouldn't mind that. It was a really great game. Okay, so there's some basic body there. And then next what we're going to do is we're going to give her a little bit of arms from her shoulders. And they're going to meet just below her hips, like right about here. So you want them to be jutting out a little bit and then coming back in. And again, I just start with kind of wireframing it. Just start line by line. And then you build up on those lines once you're happier with the shape.
Kenny's here too. Oh, is Kenny sitting with Ryan painting?
Hyrule Warriors 1. Oh, I see what you're saying. The definitive Hyrule Warriors can be easier and harder at the same time. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I haven't tried it on the Switch yet. I did try the demo of the new Hyrule Warriors. and I want to play it, but it stresses me out. The painting mechanic of Link Between Worlds was really cool. I loved being able to go and flatten yourself out, and it was all swirly and spooky. Okay, so there's the body. We're going to do some legs. So you don't have to think about the legs too much. Just kind of imagine them as we're going. So her legs are crossed, as you can see up in the sample up there. What we really want is from this bottom corner here, just kind of swoop the black upward and let it go out a little bit. I would say maybe an inch, inch and a half. That's where that leg is going to be. And you can let that come back in. So it swoops up and curves. And then comes back down. And it's going to stop just in front of the hip. So if you've got her hips like right here, it's going to stop right about here. This is where the foot's going to end. And I'm going to build that out just a little bit so you can see. It's kind of like a teardrop shape that's been stretched out. And then for the other foot, we're going to come back here again. From this top part here, round it out. And then flatten it just underneath that knee that's kind of popping up, right? And again, we can keep making adjustments as we go. This is just to give us an idea as we're building it up. And this is going to be a silhouette too. So as we're building it, if we find like here, I think the hip and waist area is a little bit larger compared to the leg, I can make the leg a little bit bigger to compensate for that. So I think it feels pretty good. Just make the head a little bit larger. Yeah. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to start to fill it in. Let's see what we got here. I plan to experiment with mixing generative art with regular art. Ooh, Jason, I'm excited to see what that is. Share it on our Discord at Perception Paints. I'd love to see what you're working on. Dead Boy says, the new Hyrule Warriors game is a fun game and all, but it doesn't have the replayability that number 1 does, but I do love 2 for what it is. Sorry to do so much Zelda talk, but it's been nice having this chat. It's fun to talk and art at the same time. Yeah, I don't mind the Zelda talk. It's fitting because it's green, right? I think Reed said that earlier. Yeah, I do not mind at all. I'm all for Zelda talk, of course. Okay, so we're going to start to fill this in. I'm going to start with the body first. And just fill that in with black. And as we fill it in, we're going to start to build up the silhouette, give it some shape, a little more dynamic shape, so it's not so much of an armature, but it actually starts to look like the character that we're going for.
Ryan. Real hard. Candy finger painting
Hi,
in the
Ryan.
background.
Nice. Hi, guys. So this shoulder to elbow, we want to taper it a little bit toward the elbow. Give it just a slight coming together. And then from the elbow to the wrist, we're going to taper it again. So it just starts to build out. And again, don't worry if your painting doesn't look exactly like mine, or if things are a little tweaked as you're going, it's okay. Everybody's painting's going to look exactly different today, but we're all going to end up with something like this. So on Disney Talk, I read an interesting article earlier last week that said that surveys are going out to previous pass holders and asking them if by any chance the monthly option to pay for your pass, which for those of you who don't know, for your Disney pass, if you want, previously they've allowed people to essentially lease their Disney passes and pay monthly. So they said they're survey people and said, if we remove the monthly option, what would you choose out of 3 options? And it said, I would still have a pass, but I would downgrade to the lower tier. I would save my pass as is and just pay the same amount, or I would discontinue having a pass. But I thought it was interesting that they brought it up in the first place, because Jared and I have always talked about how the only reason why Disneyland is so crowded now, well, not the only reason, but a major reason why we feel it's so crowded, and the fact that there's no down season anymore, is because anyone can go whenever they want and they can pay $30 a month to go.
Yep. I agree.
It just made it too easy.
Yeah, a lot of people definitely would not wouldn't have a pass.
I would second guess it.
I mean, if you have to buy it up front, it's like $1,000. It used to be like a while ago, you could buy it for $300 or whatever, but now like they all start like at $800, I think.
It's crazy.
It is crazy.
Remember when the first what was it, the Legacy Pass, or no, not Legacy, the pass that allowed you to go to Disneyland and Disney World? The first time they did that, it was like $900 or $800 or something like that. Now that's how much a pass costs for Disneyland. It's so weird. My first pass was $120.
Yeah, I remember it was $120 for a long time, and you didn't get a lot of days, but it was enough to go a couple times, and you're good.
Yeah, it was perfect. Dead Boy. Oh, no, we're talking about annual passports for the Disneyland park. So yeah, I thought that was interesting. It'll be. I'm interested to see what they do with it, if anything. They probably won't change anything and pretend like they did. I
mean, they don't have any passes now. They canceled all of them.
Right.
So maybe they're trying to figure out how they're going to come back as.
Yeah, and then there's this new legacy pass holder status that people have. And those are the people who had passes pre-COVID and essentially like
something special or something.
Yeah, I'm sure they're going to try to compensate for that somehow. Terrence would just jump the fence. You could try that. People have tried that before.
Some people have died doing that.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Did you read that? What's it? Mouse Under Glass is one of them. David Koenig, I think, wrote like all these behind the scenes Disneyland stories on. Oh yeah. There's some really good ones. Oh, there's my name tag. Oh, I love it. Thank you, Art. That's so cute. Okay. So we've got the body, we've got some arms, building it out little by little. I gave her a little bit more shoulder. This is 80s Tinkerbell, okay? She's got a little bit more shoulder than usual. And now I'm going to start on her head. So I'm going to start to fill that in. Fill in that oval first. I realized I probably could have made Tinkerbell a little bit larger, but that's okay. She's going to be little Tinkerbell.
The Dead Boy says, there's so many of these things I would never afford to begin with that I kind of just didn't worry about. Yeah, I mean...
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to really take any of it seriously, where they're like... hi, we're still in the middle of all of this. The last thing I'm going to do is think about how am I going to afford a Disneyland pass.
I paid for a pass the first year that I left Disney.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Well, one of my friends was subsidizing for me because I was taking videos for his YouTube channel. So I was able to, like, he helped me pay for it. So I was like, okay, sure. Because it was real weird going from being a cast member and be able to go in whenever you wanted to not. So having a pass was like, okay, I feel normal again. But now now I can go for free because Amber works there. But like now I don't really feel like I need to go all that often.
I miss it, but for like, various reasons, like wanting to go and paint or chill out and visit people. But I'm not like jonesing for it like some people are.
I feel like I miss what before it was crowded. That Disneyland I liked.
That's why Jared and I stopped going. Because we used to be able to go on like a Monday and know that at the very least it wouldn't be as crowded as it normally is, or Wednesday.
Yeah. Just find somewhere to hang out.
It doesn't matter.
You know what was nice though? How much people didn't like Star Wars Land. So when Star Wars Land opened that first year, I hung out at Star Wars Land a lot because it was dead all the time.
Yeah, it was pretty great when I went too. It was crazy.
Yeah, that's when I had my pass. So I just go hang out at Star Wars Land.
I just saw something the other day too. I think it was a YouTube video where they were talking about why Star Wars Land didn't do as well as it did, as well as they anticipated. Mm-hmm. Like at its root, why it didn't do well. Mm-hmm. And the person brought up something really interesting that I never thought of. But you look at like Harry Potter Land, like all versions of it, and it does really well. Like it brought up the attendance, everyone was excited, they were all into it. And then you look at what Super Mario World is doing now in Universal. Mm-hmm. And then you look at Star Wars. And the big difference was that with Harry Potter and with Super Mario, you have those locations and those visuals already established. You already know what it's going to look like, what it's going to feel. And that's what gets you excited about going. I'm going to Hogsmeade. I'm going to Gringotts. With Galaxy's Edge, no one's heard of Batuu before. No one's seen it. No one knows what it really looks like. So really, we're just going to see the Millennium Falcon scale and some of the characters if we get a chance. But other than that, it could really be anything. It could be any alien-themed universe that just happens to have a Millennium Falcon there.
Just the Millennium
There's
Falcon.
nothing really Star Wars about it other than the merchandise and the characters.
And the characters are instructed not to stop. So you can't even which is great. I'm fine with them just walking around, but like that's it. That's all you get. You see Chewbacca run by you, and that's it. And then you could take your picture on the Millennium Falcon and
it's weird. And you'd mentioned, I think last week we were on how when you and Amber walked into Harry Potter World and she just like starts sobbing for the first time. That's what you would expect from something like that. Like if they had rebuilt Tatooine from what we know Tatooine looks like, I'd be there in a second.
Yeah, I got that feeling when I saw the Millennium Falcon, but that was it. Everything else it's beautiful. The land is beautiful, but there's no feeling for it.
No, it just looks like I'm walking somewhere where I really shouldn't be, and then look, there's a Millennium Falcon.
Yeah, Rich Cooper says, but the world they created wasn't interesting. No,
it was interesting, but not in a Star Wars way.
No,
it's
really pretty.
It's
beautiful.
It could have been anything. It could have been anything.
And then no music is weird.
It is a little odd, and the sound effects are far and few between. Like every now and then you'll hear a spaceship, but it doesn't.
And it sounds
sound
cool
like
because it does feel like something's flying over you, but it's not. There's not enough sounds to make up for the lack of.
Yeah, it's not quite as ambient as I would have liked.
It is super loud in there too, though. Being bad there when the park is closed, it is deafeningly loud because they have to pump so much sound into it. It's like I don't hear this during the day, but when all the people are gone, it's obnoxious.
Dead Boy says, I just want an experience of walking down the streets and feel like it was a part of these worlds that seem so foreign to me. It is really cool. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, it's exciting to walk through the marketplace, to walk through the streets and feel like you're part of a bustle of streets. But yeah, the person's main point was that because it wasn't so inherently Star Wars specific, it wasn't getting the draw that they thought, because people weren't going to go to revisit their favorite Star Wars new land that they've never heard of. But then another point he said was, by the time it opened, people had already gotten accustomed to the awful crowds, because it's been bad for at least the last 5 to 10 years. And so knowing that a brand new land is opening up, it's Star Wars themed, and they're putting all this marketing behind it, I think people just realized, you know what, I don't want to be a part of that yet. It's going to be crazy crowded. People are going to be insane. It's going to be expensive. They're going to charge for everything. So I'm just going to wait. Yeah, I'm just going to wait until it calms down. So everyone just decided to wait, and no one showed up.
And that was my intention. And luckily, obviously, Amber got cast member preview, and I was like, I'm gonna do this and not gonna be back for a while. And then it was empty, so I was like, I'm gonna be here all the time.
That's how Jared and I did it too. We figured, we'll go when we go, and then Garrett Flores invited us to show up, which was great. Okay, so I've got the head. I gave her a little bit of a chin, and now I'm going to start working on her hair. So first what I want to do is give her a little bit of a poof up here. Her signature Tinkerbell poof on the back of her head. Start small with a circle and then build it out as you go.
Jen just looks like a giant nose.
So I'm going to lower this poof just a bit. There we go. And then underneath that little poof, I'm going to give a little bit of a roundness back into the head. Almost like there's another poof in there. Just to kind of separate it a bit. Here we go. So you can see I'm just filling in spaces as I go, letting the shape kind of build out. I gave her a little bit too much of a neck on that side, so I kind of closed it in a bit. And then I'm going to bring that up a little bit. There we go. Coming together. And then I'm going to give her some bangs up here in the top. So I'm going to start at the poof and just kind of flick the brush. I'm using my medium-sized thin brush and just kind of flicking upward. And as I flick upward, I'm going to bring it down and kind of let it cascade over itself. So I'm creating kind of another poof, but it's specifically her bangs that are coming out on this other side. So flick, flick, flick. And then let that hang over her head. And I'm going to round that up just a little bit more on the top. Now it looks like she's totally 80s. Totally 80s Tinkerbell. I'm going to calm that down a little bit. And actually create a little bit of a curved bang down here on the bottom. It's a little bit better. She's getting there. Okay. So there's her hair. I might bring that in a little bit more. This is one of those things where, like, I'll spend hours on the hair.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta leave it alone. I'll come back to it if I want to. Okay, and then we'll get going on the legs.
I'm building a puppet currently, and
oh yeah,
last night I spent about 2.5 hours doing this exact thing. Then we're just getting finicky on something. I ended up tossing out. I was like, I don't need this, and I tossed this piece that I was working on. I decided that I was being ridiculous, and I didn't actually need to spend the time on that.
I've done that so many times. I was editing our podcast yesterday, actually, and the same kind of thing. Like, I spent probably an hour on a section. Like, it just wasn't sounding right, and I didn't like how things were popping in and out. And then at the end of it, I listened to it, and I was like, I don't even want this in here. Like, why? I spent all that time just cutting this whole section because it's not interesting. It's not. I'd like, just get rid of it. So funny. Okay, so now we're going to do the legs. I'm going to start to fill these in. And after they're filled in, I'm going to take a look at the proportion of the rest of the body and see if I need to make any adjustments. Either make the body larger or need to make the legs larger to support the body. I'm thinking it's probably going to be legs. Yeah, I'm going to make the legs a little bit larger.
Man, this hair is hard.
Yeah, it's tough to get it just right for that perfect, like, Tink silhouette. So I'm enlarging this bend in the knee a little bit. Dead Boy says, that's how I get with my art. I'll be working on it more and more and working and reworking, then all of a sudden I just toss it and start over. Yeah, I do that sometimes too. I'll keep working and working, and then sometimes I overwork it. So what I like to do is I just step away from it, and I'll step away from like a day or two, and then when I come back to it, it looks like fresh eyes. It usually helps. I'll do that with my design work too. If I'm really struggling on something, I just have to put it away for a day and come back to it.
Yeah, I do that a lot too. Sometimes your brain just is tired of looking at it.
Yeah. Yeah, just take a break if you need to. And Kenny says, join us on Discord. Totally. Join us on Discord. Set up your camera. Show us what you're up to, what you're doing.
Oh, both Kenny and Ryan are in there. Let's check in on them.
Yeah, I want to see what they're doing.
That's them.
Nice.
It.
Kenny, that's pretty amazing for having done it on your fingers. Nice job. And then Ryan, awesome as always. Ryan matches his painting today.
Yeah, he does. And then, not to brag or anything, but
oh yeah, let's take a look, Art.
Here's mine.
Cute.
I'm working on it.
I
might squish her down a little bit. She seems a little tall to me.
Yeah, make her a little
yeah,
little more hunchy. Yeah, I think I made her waist, this section, a little bit taller than I wanted to, but it's okay. Dead Boy did a sketch Saturday night, put it away, and did the color on the work today. Yeah, sometimes you just got to step away from it. And Terrence just leaves altogether. So Terrence Dark does music, or when you're writing, you're like, oh god, this sounds bad, and you just leave. Ryan is cosplaying as Link. So Terrence, what kind of music and writing do you do?
Thanks, Dead Boy.
I'm curious. It does look good, Art. You're doing a good job. It's a tough one.
It is a tough one. Human shapes are not my friends.
Yeah, it's always a struggle for me too, but I keep doing them because it's the only way we get better, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to add a little bit of flair to Tinkerbell's dress. I'm still using my middle-sized brush. And along the sides here, I'm just going to add a little bit of a flick, like a little swoop upward, as if her little petal dress, the fabric is flipping upward. I might do a couple of those. This will also help too if your waist section is a little bit longer, like mine. If you add a few of these to help define the shape of the dress. And then that'll leave her cute little bottom area there. So Terrence does some poetry sometimes and makes songs, different types of songs to keep my sanity. Hey, you do what you have to do. Sometimes I just make up songs on the spot and sing them to myself, much to the chagrin of my husband and my dogs. But it keeps my sanity, so that's all that matters.
Forget everybody else I live with.
Forget everybody else. I'm the insane one here. All right, so I'm going to widen her waist a little bit here. Maybe that'll help with some of the proportion. Yeah, that looks a little bit better. It's feeling pretty good. The foot seems a little small, so I'm gonna maybe enlargen that a little bit. All right, I think looking at it from, oh wait, I have to like step away. This is me. I'm just watching my screen right now. I have to look at it and see. I think it's looking pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm feeling pretty good about it. Dead Boy, singing can be as therapeutic as painting, sometimes more so. Yeah, if I'm in my studio by myself, I'm usually singing and dancing while I'm painting. Just all at once, doing all of it. You should have on the Perception Discord like a poetry slam and have Terrence put some of his stuff up there.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
All right, so we've got our Tinkerbell body. Loving it so far. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab a pencil real quick. Where's my pencils? Pencils. Here we go. That one doesn't work. Oh, I'll use this one. I love this one. So this is a little pencil that one of my good friends from Tokyo gave me when I visited Tokyo Disney Sea.
Oh.
Little Mickey Mouse. I love it. They had such cute shit there. I wanted to buy everything. Let's see, Dead Boy, whatever calls out to your soul and makes you feel good and happy is what you should do. Totally. I totally agree. Terrence used to be a singer, but then the pandemic. Yeah, I know.
I used to be like 3 things in the pandemic.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to take my pencil,
I'll be right back.
and I'm going to start to sketch out. Okay, I'm going to sketch out the wings. The reason I'm doing this with a pencil first is because the wings are just single line width, so I don't want to sketch it out and have it not be correct with paint. I just want to try it out first with a pencil and kind of get the general shape of it. You can also do this with chalk, and if you use chalk, if your background's dry enough, you can actually dust away any of the extra chalk if you don't want it. I don't have any chalk with me right now, so I'm just going to do pencil. So I'm going to start with the wing here on the right-hand side. And coming out from the hair, I just want it to go, just lightly sketch that out. Looks like it's going up about an inch, 2 or 3 inches above her head. Let it curve out. And I'm going to darken this too, so you guys can see the shape that I'm creating it. But I'm really just sketching it out little by little as we go. Not going all the way to the edge of the canvas, but a little bit of a point on the end there, where it tapers off. Comes in a little bit like a shark's fin up there. And then it starts to get a little bit larger. It's going to meet right about here, just below the neck and the shoulder. So just kind of sketch it out first. Make sure it's the look and feel that you want before you commit to it. And then once you're happy with it, I'm going to use my middle-sized brush again and just paint with the side of it with the thin edge. Dead Boy says, what program do you use for digital art? Artthink for my pad. Dead Boy, are you using an iPad or a Surface Pro? What are you using for your tablet? Art uses, oh, Dead Boy has a Kindle Fire. Okay. I don't know about the Kindle as far as art applications, but I know that Art uses Procreate on his iPad.
Yeah, I use Procreate.
And I do too.
Yeah, I don't know if...
I'm sure there's something comparable.
Yeah, I don't know what they have.
So you can see I'm taking a very delicate hand on top of my sketchy line that I created with my pencil and using the thin edge of the brush to draw out the line of the wings. And then on that edge there, that little tip on the end, I'm going to use my small brush. I like to use my medium-sized brush for line work just because it's got a line on it. It's already got a line, but I'm going to use this for a little bit of a detail on the end, just to round it off a little bit. I don't want it to come to such a sharp point. Yeah, Dead Boy, sorry, I don't know about the fire.
I have a fire. I'll look at home. Oh shoots! I have said I was gonna do that for somebody else as well.
Jason uses a Huion drawing tablet connected to my computer. My Android tablet is too slow and old to tolerate drawing on it. I haven't heard of that.
That's
that
the
like
like
a-
it's
like
it's
a
like a
Wacom?
yeah, it's like a Wacom, like a Cintiq, I think. It's like a I heard
Oh.
good things about it. It's like a lower cost Cintiq type tablet, and it's pretty good.
Hey, I'm all for that. If it works really well and it's lower cost, sign me up. Okay, so I've got one wing down. Now there's still some pencil marks along there. You can take your thumb, lick just the edge of it, and you can kind of dust away very lightly. You don't want to push too hard because you'll take away some of the paint. So you could do that. I wouldn't take an eraser to it because that'll just rip off the paint, but you can kind of blur it a little bit into the paint. What you can also do is once everything's dried and this black line is dried, you can go back in there with this lighter green and very lightly coat some of it. You don't want to paint right on top of it because it's actually going to look like a green line that's painted on top. Just kind of take your time and blend it in a little bit. Huion, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, is a lower cost competitor of Wacom, according to Jason. I haven't heard of that. That's cool. That's good to know because I think it's time for another Wacom tablet for me, actually.
Yeah.
That's all I use on my computers, but it's on its way out. Mine's starting to break down a little bit. Constantly updating. Okay, so I'm going to do the next wing. So this one is going to come out of the poof up here, and it's going to come down around the same spot on the shoulder. It's going to meet right about there. So this one, you can see in the sample up there, it's a little bit differently shaped. It kind of comes at a curve more than this one does, but it doesn't really matter. Just kind of play with it, have some fun. I'm gonna let this come upward. Again, just lightly sketching it out. A little bit of a point there.
Kenny is killing it with that finger painting over here.
I was really impressed. It's looking really good. So gang, remember Tinkerbell is a fairy and not an angel. So the wings are going to be a little bit more thinner and delicate than you're probably used to. So just take your time with it. You want them to be kind of matching as far as thickness and length. But don't get too hung up on it. It's okay if they're not exact. So I've got my first wing drawn out, and then I'm going to draw a little circle for the kind of like back bustle wing that you see there on the sample. It's going to sit right about here, the bottom section of the wing, kind of like a butterfly wing. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw a circle that intersects the bottom of this line here. And goes into the arm a little bit too. So I'm just sketching this for now, but I'm going to paint it out so you guys can definitely see what it's looking like too. You're not going to be able to see it just yet because of the light pencil marks that I've got so far. Whoa! Okay. So... Art, can you zoom in, like, about there? Like where the height of the brush is?
Okay, give me a second.
Yeah.
16 button clicks to get you there. There you go. And zoom in more.
Yeah. No, that's good.
That's good. Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so this way I'll be able to show you the wing. So I've sketched it out with my pencil. And then just like before, I'm going to draw out that line nice and light. Are you eating chips?
Yes.
So funny. You and Chunk are constantly eating chips. I love it.
I'm eating Takis.
So funny. Yum, Takis!
Takis are the
Oh my God,
best.
I love Takis.
And Amber bought these little, like, tiny little bags, so I don't even have to touch them. So I just put them in my mouth. So my fingers don't get all red.
I love it. It's the most hygienic way to eat chips. My dad has worked at Frito-Lay for like 40 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we always had chips in the house. But what's funny is like I was chased after the chips that he didn't make. So I was like, "Yay! Can we have Pringles?"
Jason Carey says, I'm eating seasoned chips too. There you go.
Nice. I love chips. I made some sourdough crackers yesterday.
Sourdough what?
Sourdough crackers.
Oh.
Like I take the discard from my sourdough that I'm not using currently on breads and stuff, and I'll make crackers. They taste just like wheat thins, and they're perfect.
Oh, wow.
It's like my favorite thing. Fresh hot crackers out of the oven. But yeah, chips. Cool Ranch. I will destroy a bag of Cool Ranch Doritos in a second.
Deadwood says, LOL, I like Amber. I told Danny this when I finished Worf Saga. Sometimes you need that sass.
The Amber sass.
Mm-hmm.
Amber is all sass.
I live with that.
Sass with a whole lot of heart. She's heartfelt sass.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are perfect. I love it. I remember when I first found out that the two of you were dating, I was like, what? Wait, what?
No.
Excuse me, what?
It was weird for everybody.
It was weird, but in a most wonderful way, because then I was like, oh, duh. Yeah, of course.
Also, we kept it a secret for like a year and a half.
Yes, you did.
We didn't tell anybody.
Okay, so I've got the wing here, and now I'm going to do the circle, the lower wing just underneath it. So see what I mean? How they intersect the wings up here, and also crosses through the arm just above the elbow. And right back in. Dead Boy, Cool Ranch. I mean, Cool Ranch are the best. They're so good. I love nacho cheese. Those are really good too. I mean, Doritos kind of the perfect chip, really, next to like just a basic Lay's potato chip. But yeah, there's something about Cool Ranch. I can't get enough of it. I will eat an entire bag and have no remorse whatsoever. Okay, you can zoom back out, Art, please, kind sir. Guys, look, it's Tinkerbell. Oh my god, she's so cute. Okay, so this next part's super fun and easy. You get to relax, get to breathe. We're gonna use white paint, and we're gonna add some sparkles all over the place. So you can see she's got these little pom-poms above her her little feet, her signature like Tinkerbell pom-poms. We're gonna wait on those because this paint down here is still wet. I don't want to paint white on top of black. It won't work. Ted Boy, nacho cheese we cook with. Cool Ranch never lasts long enough to be in food. It really doesn't. I eat it so fast. My husband will treat me and he'll be like, I got you a bag of Cool Ranch. And I'll just sit on the couch and eat the entire thing. It's so sad. It's so sad. Like, I'm like, thanks, honey. All right, so I'm going to take my small brush with a nice dollop of white paint on there, and I'm going to start to dab on some white kind of sparkly Tinkerbell sparkle pixie dust. There we go. I knew it had a name. But rather than just kind of polka dotted everywhere, you can see on the sample, there's kind of a little path, little swirls that it goes throughout. So just have some fun. Imagine that you've got a little bit of a of a swirl going on. Maybe start here in the wings, because that's where most of that magic's coming from. And just kind of dot throughout. I'd also say be careful not to dot, because then it starts to look a little checkerboardy or polka dot. Rather, take some space, do 2 or 3 dots next to each other, take some more space, a dot or 2, some more space, maybe another 3 or 4. They can all be different sizes and shapes. They don't all have to be the same. And we're going to come back in here behind her dress. So you can see I've got a little bit of a path going on here now. Now I'm going to go back in and take a slightly smaller tap. Kind of fill in some of these missing pieces. So start with the bigger dots of pixie dust. And then toss in a few smaller ones here and there just to make it look a little more sparkly and delicate. That feels pretty good. I mean, you can always add more if you want. There's no such thing as too much pixie dust. As long as you're deliberate with it, as long as you're intentionally putting on there. Ted Boy, you know your husband is going to be dealing with sparkles for months now. No matter how good you are at cleaning up, you will find sparkle in places you didn't know you had. Yes, it is that. Yeah, Terrence is right. The same with glitter. I joke with Art that I'm not allowed to have glitter in the house anymore. Because I used to work for a company called Palamon, and I would design gift wrap and stickers and tote bags and stuff, like Hallmark giftables. And so there was glitter everywhere. I was constantly coming home covered in glitter, and there was just glitter all over the house, and I would track it in on my shoes and everything. So once I left that job, he's like, so no more crafting in here, no more glitter. I said, okay. I still bring glitter in the house, just don't tell them. It's a secret. Okay, so I've got some of my sparkles on there. Next what I'm going to do is go in with my middle-sized brush. I still find glitter 5 to 10 years later. Yeah, I know. You know what's funny? And my husband does drag. His drag name is Nomi Moore. She uses glitter all the time. It's everywhere. So, I don't know. I don't say nothing.
But that's for professional reasons.
Sure. All right, so I'm taking my middle-sized brush. I've got some white paint on it, just on the end there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create some little stars. Dead Boy, thank you for not telling. I appreciate that. This is just between you, me, and YouTube. So what I'm going to do is create a cross, a little of a sparkle. So I'm going to dab upward, and then I'm going to turn my brush and dab horizontally. So one vertical dab, one horizontal dab to create a little bit of a star. And I'm going to do that one right here. Just dab and dab. Now, these little accents you can definitely overdo. So I would say in each little section that you paint, maybe have maximum 3. You don't want to go too much with these. These are really like featured accents. They don't all have to be horizontal, vertical either. You can do some diagonal stars in just the same way. Just tap, tap. And then I'll do one more up here. Tap, tap.
You know what also lasts forever like glitter? Bear hair. Bear hair.
Bear?
Bear in the Big Blue House hair.
Oh.
I found it for years in my house. After Bear was gone, there was still bear hair
even
everywhere.
After Bear was gone?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
for years.
I love Bear in the Big Blue House. Bear was so special.
I have a chunk of him somewhere at home. I have a little swatch of his fur that Keisha gave to me.
Oh, Keisha! Oh my god! These people, it was such a family there. I will always so fondly remember my time at Playhouse Disney. So special.
Same.
Dead Boy says, hey, some of those drag artists are amazing body artists. I'm amazed at their work. Jared Nomimore is incredible. He's been doing it for 20 something years and is so good at it. Sometimes he'll do my makeup if I'm doing like a drag story time for the kids or something. And I always feel so pretty when he's done my makeup. I'm just like, I'm beautiful. Because sometimes when I do it, I just look crunchy and sad.
I love the sound of that. Drag story time with kids.
It's so fun. Oh my God, I love it. I've done it probably about 3 or 4 times through Taco Bell specifically. Actually,
that's awesome.
We have our employee resource group for LGBTQ resources, and so they know me as Judy Latuda is my drag name. I'm everyone's favorite everyone's favorite antidepressant, Judy Latuda. And I read storybooks to the kids. There's one that I read that I love called The Hips on the Drag Queen Go Swish, Swish, Swish. It's the best.
Let's Kenny just connected again. Let's check in on Kenny.
Yeah.
There's Kenny. Oh, he disconnected.
Oh no.
I watched a TikTok not so long ago. There was a little boy. He was probably like 9 or 10, and he asked for a drag queen for his birthday. He wanted to have one at his birthday party, and she showed up. It's just a video of her walking down the street to meet him at his birthday party. It was really cute. He was so excited.
Oh, I love that. I mean, first of all, how amazing for that kid to be like, that's what I want for my birthday.
Yeah.
I want a drag queen to show up. But second, like, what kind of amazing parents are those to be like, sure. You got it. Like, clown, magician, princess, drag queen. You got it. We will bring the drag queen. That's so cool. I love that. There was a great video floating around a couple weeks ago from Hamburger Mary's Florida, where there's this little 5-year-old boy that they brought up to the stage at a drag show. His parents brought him to a Hamburger Mary's drag show.
Yeah.
And they said, oh, we understand that you performed karaoke. And he's like, yeah, I really like karaoke and I like singing and dancing. And so they gave him his first drag name. Just so sweet. They're like, what is your pet's name? What's your street name? And then they said, okay, now your favorite show is RuPaul's Drag Race, right? And he said, yeah, that's my favorite show. This little 5-year-old, like, he was so cute. And they said, okay, good, because now is your chance to lip sync for your life. And they played his favorite song. It was This Is Me from The Greatest Showman.
Yeah.
And this little kid knew all the choreography, knew all the words. I was sobbing. It was so good.
Awesome.
You guys have to look it up. I think it's on YouTube. I know it's on Facebook, but it's like, I don't even know how you would look it up. Hamburger Mary's Florida. It's sweet. It's so cool. Dead Boy says, I get so jealous of some kids, even though I love the childhood I had. You know what? I can't tell for me if it's jealousy or if it's just, it's hard for me to comprehend how much things have changed. Like, I couldn't imagine as a little kid having the strength to do that, to ask for that, to be like, I want to go to drag show, mommy. Like, what? It wasn't even a thing. How would I even know?
Yeah.
And now it's like, it's just part of pop culture. Like, kids are watching RuPaul's Drag Race and they're loving it, and they're being introduced to all these different cultures and people, and it's just so cool.
I can't even imagine what my parents would have said if I'd asked that when I was a kid. I was already the weird kid who watched ballet on TV, and
right.
And so they're like, "Well, you want? Oh, okay, I don't." They wouldn't even know what to do, where to go, what to do.
So, Art, when you asked your parents for a drag queen for your quinceañera, what did they say?
They said, "Quinceañeras, no, I can't afford for that. So no, you're not having a quinceañera." Okay, by the way, quinceañera was a huge issue when my sister had hers. Because I spent... Really? So my sister is 9 years younger than I am. I spent my entire life from about 8 years old. So I moved to the US from Mexico when I was 8. I'm gonna say 8 to all the way through high school. I spent asking my parents to send me to space camp all the time, nonstop. It's the only thing I ever wanted to do. My parents are like, "We can't afford it. Sorry, we can't afford
Remember
it."
the commercials too?
Yes!
All the time on Nickelodeon?
Yes!
Constantly. Yeah.
And then you know, my sister came. She got to her 15 years old, and my parents spent so much money on her quinceañera. Mind you, at this point, I'm a grown man. I'm like 20 something. I'm 20,
but still
24.
bitter as hell.
I was so bitter that my sister got like a $8,000 quinceañera, and they wouldn't send me to space camp
For like $600.
Yeah, for $600.
If that. Are you you're the eldest?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
You know what?
That's
They
how
have
it goes.
they have an adult program, so there's still time.
You
that
and Lance Bass.
that was in the list of things to do for my bachelor party. Was one of them was like go to space camp. I was like,
I love that.
But I was bringing people. I don't know who was going to be able to afford it because it was going to fly over to wherever it is, Alabama,
Like
wherever it is.
Canaveral or whatever.
Yeah, and
That would be really cool.
I still want to do it though.
Do it for your 40th.
That's in a month.
You got time.
Figure something
Plan
out.
it. Amber, get on it. Jason says there's a Cirque du Soleil version of the Nutcracker. I did not know that.
Oh, is there?
That's interesting. My first and favorite version of the Nutcracker is the I can't remember which ballet troupe it is, but the whole art direction was done by Marie Sendak. So it's got that very creepy, like children's book illustration to it that I love. It's very, very haunting. And I also like the Macaulay Culkin version just because it's so cheesy.
There's Kenny's again. Checking in. Kenny's checking in.
Kenny! I love it.
I loved the version. I don't know who the version is. It's the one that was on TV a lot in like the 90s. Every Christmas it was on TV. I think it's the only like real filmed. It's the one it's a movie, but they basically just filmed the stage version as a movie.
Yeah, I think that's the Marie Sendak version.
That's Marie Sendak.
With like
that's
the
awesome.
with the giant Nutcracker head.
Yeah.
On the body, like the kind of big eye, creepy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know he did that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Maybe that's even why I loved it because it's Marie Sendak.
Right? It just kind of like in your mind subconsciously. Yeah, I always loved that one. Yeah, I was always the weird kid who watched ballet too. My mom always tells a story of like when she first knew I was different. She woke up one morning and I was downstairs watching the Nutcracker by myself, like early in the morning. It was just on TV and I found it and I was obsessed with it. I was probably like 5 or 6 years old. And she thought that I was watching one of those, remember back in the 80s and 90s when Disney Channel used to have music videos where they would play a popular song, but then they would put Disney cartoons like over it.
Yeah.
Like they would remix it or whatever. She thought I was just watching one of those.
Oh.
And she's like, "What are you watching?" I was like, "I don't know, but it's got dancers and it's music and it's really good." And she's like, "Okay." Dead Boy, I love being the youngest in my family. Yeah, you guys get along. You get away with all this shit.
Yeah.
You get away with everything and you get everything that you want. The oldest kids had to struggle while their parents figured shit out. And I get it. Being a parent is probably really difficult and not something that I would ever want to do, really. But shit, I mean, Art, that's a perfect case in point. Like, all you wanted was space camp. And you know, every single time that you asked, you know that they knew they could have sent you to space camp if they weren't saving for that fucking $8,000 quinceañera. They know that. You know that. So twisted. That's so funny. I went to Astro Camp.
Bought a new edition of Peter Pan on Kickstarter. Then he said it was $100.
What?
Why is it $100? Is it like an
new
illustrated
edition?
And like a book, I'm guessing.
Oh yeah. There's a new, fairly new D&D campaign called Neverland that just came out. I can't think of the artist. It's really pretty. It looks really cool. Um, yeah, I kept meaning to tell you guys. I felt like it would be really fun for Perception, because then everyone can dress up like their characters or whatever and do all the Peter Pan stuff. Dead Boy says it was a shock to my mom to find out I was straight. Reed, you and your Kickstarter adventures. Reed, are you a Kickstarter fanatic? Are you a rampant supporter? There was a time where I did a lot of Kickstarter.
Oh yeah. I'm still waiting for something. Both Kenny and I did it. We pledged in 2017.
Yeah, that's why I stopped, because it got to the point where I forgot that I pledged for stuff, and then I was getting reminders, and I was like, "Wait, what? Oh, yeah, that's right."
Oh no, we pledged it in 2016. It was ending in 2017, I think. Anyways, it's been years. I still get updates saying, "Oh, update, 750. It's coming."
Right. Yeah, I bought a 3D printer as part of like a batch. Like if you buy it early, you get this batch, you get this special price. I bought it like 3 or 4 years ago and still hasn't shown up. I'm like, whatever, I'll get it when I get it. I have one now, so I'm good, but I would have liked it a couple years ago.
Yeah.
When I bought it. Trying to think of what other Kickstarters. Fireball Mountain from Restoration Games. They did a reboot of Fireball Mountain. Like that old 80s game where you drop the marbles on the volcano and they roll around and knock people out.
Yeah.
I went all in on that and got got all that stuff, and I think I've played it twice.
Oh, I did. I did something called Magic Puzzles, which is kind of cool.
Oh, I've seen those.
Yeah. I bought the 3-pack. We've only done one. We waited like 6 months for it, and I've still only done one. It's pretty cool.
I still didn't understand what it was. Is it like Where's Waldo and a puzzle, or you just kind of have to do it and let it happen?
It does. It has an effect. There's like, it's hard to explain without spoiling it, but basically you finish. The puzzles are designed kind of like Where's Waldo, where like there's a bunch of little characters. And then you can look for them, because I think there's a little list that says, challenge, but that's like a side thing. But once you finish the puzzle, you open another envelope that has something, and then you do something with that stuff, and then you get like an extra bonus surprise for your puzzle.
Okay, I might check that out. I remember seeing that, not quite understanding what it was.
Yeah, all I knew is that they worked with a magician, so I was like, okay, it should be cool, and then I got
That's cool. Dead Boy says Danny was telling him about this small tin games I can do on Kickstarter to join in on. Apparently there's a campaign for little games in tins. That sounds familiar.
Taryn says, I want that Harry Potter game they were playing. Oh yeah, that looks fun. Actually, they gave that to Amber for Christmas or birthday like a couple of years ago. We still haven't played it.
Oh, the deck builder game?
Deck builder, yeah.
I wanted to watch that today. I just got swamped. I didn't get a chance to watch. But I've always wanted to see how that game plays too. It looks cool.
Yeah.
I don't play a lot of board games, unfortunately. I love them, and I have a ton of them, but they frustrate my husband, so we don't play them very often. I think we mentioned this before, but like anything over Ticket to Ride is a little too instruction heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Like I still haven't played Villainous. I have it, and I still haven't played it.
Oh yeah. That's
It's
a Disney
such
one?
Cool game. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm adding some more little stars everywhere. Let's see. I kickstarted I can't remember what the company was, but they were doing video game versions of classic pinball machines. So I did. They did a Twilight Zone version that was really cool. I kickstarted that. the video game Yooka-Laylee. That was kind of based on like Banjo-Kazooie, like the new version of Banjo-Kazooie from Rare. That was a good one. They did a good job with that. All right. Feeling pretty good about those stars. Dead Boy says, "Oh, it was fun. We accused Danny of stacking the deck again. He always stacks the deck. He pretends that he doesn't. He did that too when they were playing the Star Trek game like last week or the week before. It's fun just teasing him, pretending like he doesn't. We don't know that he's stacking it, but we know.
We know. We're aware.
Yeah. So yeah, gang, that's Tinkerbell. Oh, we had fun with this one. It's different and it's difficult. But what's cool is you can kind of take this style or approach to painting with anything that you like. So if you want to do a silhouette of, I don't know, Jack Skellington or a RuPaul or, I don't know, Alexis from Dynasty, like whatever you want. If you have a silhouette in mind, just paint a really cool, simple, like tonal background. Pick a lighter color, a darker color. You can even do a gradient of like multiple colors, and then just put a black silhouette on top of it, and it always has this nice, cool effect. Anything you want.
Awesome.
But that's it. Ta-da!
Yeah. Well, thank you, Robert. That was fun. Yeah. Thank you everyone for joining us. We're gonna be back tomorrow at 2 p.m. with Andrew doing some video games here on YouTube. So check back at 2 p.m. Let's check with Kenny. Kenny's come back. There's Kenny. That's how Kenny got.
Look at those sparkles. Nice work.
Yeah. And Ryan disappeared. I don't know where he went to. He gave up, went home. I don't know.
I almost forgot one thing.
What's that?
Her little pom-poms.
Oh, yeah. We're not done.
No, we're not done yet. I thought we were. Okay, so there's one here. Now that the paint's dry. Her signature pom-poms on her shoes.
Ooh.
And then one here. There we go. Now it's Tinkerbell.
Sweet.
Before
There
it
you
was
go.
just some fairy.
Boom. Oh, Ryan to get on a Zoom call. Oh, that's right. There's a meeting about stuff. Cool. All right. Well, thank you guys. Again, like I said, be back tomorrow here on YouTube for Andrew with some games. And then tomorrow night, we would love it. We appreciate it if you guys could be there for Solon's Legacy at 7:30 p.m. Come hang out. Come check out. The show's real fun. You guys will know. I'm sure you guys will see it. Yeah. And tomorrow, it's Kenny's training day on Solon's Legacy, so he can learn to run the board. So that might be fun. Another reason to come watch. Because you can watch everything explode. Because who knows? But yeah, we'll be here tomorrow, and then Wednesday, 2 p.m. we have our Star Wars show here, Empire's Might, at 2 p.m. Right at 2 p.m. and then 7:30 p.m. with Perception Check. When our new campaign's going real great, so make sure you guys check out for that. That's real fun. So thank you everybody for watching us, and we'll see you later.
Bye guys.
I can't find
See
the
you next
button.
time.
Bye.